Hey, Justice Warriors, how are you guys? I think it's Thursday. It is definitely August 10th. My computer says so right there. And it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. So I'm getting on my YouTube video that I've been thinking about all day. Please hit your like button if you'd be so kind. Share, subscribe, turn on your notification bell if you like to be notified when videos are dropped or I'm going live. So I'm not coming at you live from my living room couch, but I'm coming at you unalive. Yikes, pre-recorded. Let's just go with that. Okay. So I want to continue to talk about the three cases that I've been talking about. So right now it's the Kylie Rodney case front and center because that 1 year anniversary of when she was reported missing just passed a few days ago. So now we're in the 1 year anniversary of Where's Kylie until the 21st of August, which was the anniversary of the day they found her. We all know that. So I want to also cover the Watts case as we're just 3 days from the 5 year anniversary of that absolutely catastrophic nightmare and lack of due process and justice, in my opinion. Everything I say is simply my opinion, simply for the sake of conversation. I hope to open up a discussion with my people, and I'm always trying to learn something. I'm hoping that it's educational for others as well. And my videos are all specifically made for YouTube, which is an entertainment platform. So, the other case that I wanted to discuss, yep, that huge nightmare, Idaho 4. Whew. Okay, so let's just jump right in. I also want to continue to address the crap that YouTubers sling at each other. My goodness. I'm a huge supporter of anybody who's honest and forthright, and I think Ryan Upchurch is one of those people. I did not support him when he said Kylie Rodney was not real, but right away, right off the bat, I thought he might be speaking metaphorically. And he might be talking about this whole thing not being real. And now, a year later, I'm right back to that spot thinking that, yeah, he might have just said it off the cuff because he's an honest, straightforward person. And it might not have even sunk into him, in my opinion, that he was actually speaking metaphorically and not literally. The man has the street smarts and he can smell a rat a mile away. And he knew, in my opinion, that that search was fake AF. So even though I disagreed with him saying that, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need my approval. He lives on his own accord, he follows his own rules, and he has apologized for that. So people making such a big fuss about it is insane. It's all a distraction, you guys. Even this lawsuit, if it is actually real and it looks like it might be, that doesn't mean it's going to go anywhere. But it's all a big distraction. It distracts us from focusing on why was there a fake search? Why did they have 60 FBI agents out there, approximately? Why did they have almost 20,000 hours of manpower searching? Why couldn't they find this vehicle that was in 14 feet of water, 50 feet or 50 yards from the place where her phone last pinged? Why are all of her friends who were there still living their lives as if nothing happened? Friends, right? Yeah, right. All of these people that are affiliated with her are absolute scum, in my opinion. If they had any integrity at all, an ounce of integrity, they would step forward and they would tell the truth what happened to this beautiful 16-year-old child who had her entire life ahead of her, you guys. What? Probably 70 years stolen, just snatched. It's really disgusting. It's really slimy. And every single person who's been covering up the truth is complete scum, in my humble opinion. But my goodness, the pissing contests that we see on YouTube, the catfishing, the sea lining, obviously that old gaslighting that I'm sure so many people get sick of hearing that term, but I get sick of people doing it. And I see people doing it all over the place, especially in the land of YouTube. So cut it out. We can do better. I know we can. I know it. Um, so I want to discuss some of the Watts case. There's this channel that's brand new to me, and it is called Behind Criminal Minds. It's awesome. They're in the middle of doing a 3-part series, I think, on the Watts case. And the last one they did, I'll put it in the description, I'll put a link to it, was about 5 days ago, I think. And it's just over an hour long, and they do such a good job. I believe that the content creator, is an attorney. So very creative, very smart, very on point. I highly recommend it. Um, but, I remember when Nicole Kessinger's camp came into the streets of YouTube and literally tried to say that holding NK accountable in any way, shape, or form for what happened in the Watts case was setting the women's movement back into the 1950s. So I don't know if that was her attempting that or people that were paid to do that. I don't know. The whole thing with that case is that company, Anadarko, that NK and Chris Watts worked for, and where the bodies of Watts' entire family were found at the Survey 319. Survey is the last name of the owners of that property that Anadarko leased to have their tank there. So I've been looking up a lot of this stuff. I've been studying it for like a year or two. But what was it that I wanted to share with you? There's a lot. But the hydrocarbon exploration, you guys, I never knew this. Anadarko Petroleum was a hydrocarbon exploration company. It was organized in Delaware in 2019, almost a year after this god awful event or series of events. August 2019. I think they even said like August 8th or something. It was weird that it was so specific, but maybe that was the day it was closed. The deal was closed. It was acquired by Occidental Petroleum. It was either a 38 or $55 billion deal. That was, I don't know why such drastically different numbers, but when you're talking billions, it's sort of like a gazillion, right? I mean, what is that? So it's now the headquarters are in Los Angeles, and it's called Occidental, or the company. So I thought that was really interesting because usually when people say the company, they're talking about, like the waste disposal company that Tony Soprano owns or something like that. The company. So the oil field operator was Watts's job title. And if you look on Wikipedia, it says that he was an American oil field operator, which one of my mods had pointed that out to me last week. And American is capitalized. I don't think they're saying that that's a company. I think they're just saying that that's like a general, you know, an American oil field operator. So anyway, to explain that, I think all this stuff is relevant and important to keep track of because that's the problem with the gaslighting is the clown show, clown car, circus, keeping your head spinning so you don't know which way is up and you can't focus on what's important, like the people's lives that were lost and the people that are potentially responsible that aren't being held accountable. It needs to be vetted. It needs to be vetted. So, let's see. Behind Criminal Minds, in that episode that I'm going to have my link in the description for you guys, and sub to their channel, like, comment, all that good stuff if you like it. Um, says that NK was arrested for a violent act involving a knife when she was 16 years old. And this is sealed because she was a minor. So I looked it up and I found some stuff on Reddit. And I know sometimes you find the truth, sometimes you find garbage. But what it said there was specifically that she stabbed her parents' friend in the back because that friend caught her having oral relations with her boyfriend. So take it or leave it. It's probably just, trash from the interweb, but I think that the content creator is onto something about the arrest. I know she had been arrested for like underage drinking and also she wasn't cooperative and she I think got charged with obstruction of justice. I think that was when she was 19 and she was at a party and she wouldn't answer the door or something like that. But she was trouble. She was absolute trouble. So by the time this whole thing happened, and I think she was 31, being a mental health professional, I can't help but wonder what kind of psychiatric issues are going on with her way before she met CW and still way after. But you know, she is a clever girl. She's very manipulative and she thinks that she can just flirt her way out of anything. Like if you guys remember from one of her interviews with the police, and I think it might be that 3 hour and 33 minute interview that Paula Plunder finally got the actual visual videotape of, she's telling the cop that she can help him count his macros. That might be the one that was videotaped where she's wearing the really tight sweat jacket and the high ponytail. And it's a super hot day. It's in the summer in Colorado, but she's got uh, a sweat jacket on and blue jeans. And it just makes you wonder if she's trying to hide her arms or something. But she's just extremely flirtatious. And then talking about how she went over to the Watts family home to help Chris with his macros. And now that, he's out of the picture, she needs a new guy to help with his macros if the guy is interested in being hot. I mean, serious? Serious, serious. This girl is off the wall, out of control. And let's just leave it right there. That's August 13th is the 5 year anniversary this year. And August 13th is also the 10-month mark of when Idaho 4 happened. So let's get right into the Idaho 4 for a minute. Hold on. Uh-oh, I'm out of agua. Um, Man, that Idaho 4 case is so, so crazy. I'm really happy to see content creators looking at Coroner Kathy with a C, my butt, and reviewing her testimony, her interviews, her facial expressions, her information. She said a lot of weird things. When that first was released, back when it happened 10 months ago, I thought, she's just a nice old lady doing her job, right? But I don't think so. I think that she is, in my opinion, full of trickery. she kind of minces her words, and she's not really doing her job. Like, her job is to protect the integrity of the investigation from the perspective or the standpoint of the victim's remains. Like, that's her duty, is to oversee that nothing comes into contact with those victims' remains except her and what they do to, remove that from the crime scene. And how come we've never seen that coming out of that house? Like, that's weird. That's weird. I mean, maybe they were just really sneaky and did it quickly at night in the dark, but we all know that the place was just swarming with media. So maybe they did take them out through tunnels. I never really thought about that, but maybe they did, just so that nobody would see what was, this whole thing with the tunnels under Moscow. I've said it recently that pretty much every city has tunnels underneath for various purposes of, ventilation and, oh, lots and lots of things, but they can be used by, they can be used in illegal ways. They're kind of a trafficker's dream. So I don't want to go off on that, but it just occurred to me literally right now while I'm making this video that perhaps that's how the remains were extracted from the premises. I don't know. And I'm super curious that 10 months has gone by and I don't think any of us know. If you know, please put it in the comments. Um, so, I can't help but think that this whole thing with the Idaho 4 is just such a freaking hot mess. It's completely out of control. There's so much ridiculous information, I think, that's accurate from the case, like the brain on the dumpster, like the grub truck video, like the 10 texts and phone calls to Jack D. These are, even by themselves, they stand alone as very peculiar, in my opinion. But when you take it all together, when you look at the fact that we're almost 10 months out and we still don't know who went to the football game and who didn't go to the football game, that's weird. Like, we should have a timeline for each victim from that day, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Um, so yeah, let's wrap this one up. Um, quickly. One more thing. That's like Columbo. One more thing. Just one more thing, all right? And it's always the clincher. Madison and Kaylee, had they kind of withdrew from their sororities? Because that's the information that I've seen again and again on the streets of YouTube, right? Um, That's it. That's all my Columbo thing. So I'm going to do my little spiel once again. I always like to remind you guys, hit that like button as the video ends. If you didn't hit it yet, please. It helps me a lot. And I've never made any money off of my videos. That's not my thing. My thing is to just process all this information. I have my own story. I am happy to share that story as time progresses, but I don't want to distract my channel and my viewers with what happened to me when I was 11 and there was an attempt made on my life, my sister's life, and it was poison. I'll just leave it right there. I'm not trying to be mysterious. Like I said, I just don't want to distract. I've got these three cases that I am very focused on. I've been very focused on Kylie Rodney for a year, the Watts case for a couple of years. And because of what happened to me, I have a lot of trouble focusing on cases involving harm to children. And I wanted no knowledge of the Watts case when it first happened. But eventually I got caught up in it and really got hooked by the whole concept of the fall guy. CW made himself the fall guy to discontinue the investigation. And it is just mind blowing how often cases are resolved with a fall guy who covers for anybody else involved, and the priority is not justice for the victim and the victim's family. The priority is financial gain for whatever corporations are affected, negatively impacted by this crime, in my opinion. And I think that's huge, and it's proven again and again. So that's what I see going on with the Kylie Rodney case. That's what I see going on in Idaho. And that's certainly what is obvious to me, in my opinion, with the Watts case. So, and even in my own personal case, there was financial gain with that. But like I said, that's a whole nother story. The reason I'm disclosing that is because I've done a lifetime of therapy. I am a therapist. I've been a licensed psychotherapist for over 20 years, and it's a never-ending process. And to focus on these cases is, I like to say, like a really good escape and vacation from my own problems, while simultaneously I feel like I am working out some of my own issues further and further. So that's me. That's how I operate. That's what makes me tick. I'm so happy to have my channel. I'll have my 1 year anniversary of getting the YouTube like website going. That'll be the end of this month, August 28th. And then first video was August 30th. So I'm really excited about that anniversary. I'm devastated for the anniversary of Kylie, the anniversary of the Watts, and in a couple of months, the anniversary of the Idaho 4. These cases are insane, you guys. Just disgusting. But what we can do is we can try to make sense of it for ourselves and try to prevent anything like these cases from happening ever again. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All you can do is do your best, right? All right. You guys have a wonderful afternoon. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drink your water, eat your protein, eat your produce, get your exercise, get your rest, relaxation, your sleep. Be kind, and just be. Just be. All right. Thanks again. See you soon. Peace out. Oh, sending you light and love.